Now then, I just want to give you a bit of a heads up about something that may or may not happen. I'm working on it, but my aging computer, which I bought a couple of years ago second hand, it'll be an ex-office computer, and it's got 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is more than enough for handling 4K, but it's got an old Intel i5 processor, which doesn't have enough cores to properly handle 4K, and I don't know what sort of graphics card it's got on it, but clearly not a particularly powerful one. It's been a case of make do and mend of late, but it's getting to the point now where the old computer, even for a 20-minute video, if I've got 2 video feeds in there to process, i.e. from 2 cameras, one the helmet camera and the other the handlebar camera, it shits itself at round about the 40% mark. So I get 40% of the way through processing and it just locks up. And I'm working on various ways to get round it, such as importing stuff directly onto the hard drive of the computer rather than on the SSDs that I have attached. But I suspect that the poor old thing has seen the last of its days of a usable 4K editing system. So I'm going to need to replace it, and that is going to be big money. Right, so what that brings me on to is this. You'll have seen I've done quite a few reviews lately of the kit of product. I've done a tyre inflator, and I will be doing another one which is a little bit different, and I've also done some sort of video camera stroke Apple CarPlay TFT systems for your bike. And hey, there were just a handful of comments, and it was only a handful, but I think it spoke to a greater truth as regards the mindset of some people when it comes to YouTube and content creating. Basically, a handful of people gave me a really hard time about reviewing products. Now, the first thing that I should mention is that I do not integrate the review of any products into my day-to-day core channel work. So the stuff that comes out on a Thursday and a Sunday, there'll be stuff like this, riding around the beautiful Yorkshire Dales, or it might be a bike review, but it's not going to be a quote-unquote product review, i.e. something I've been sent by some company or other for free in return for reviewing it on the channel and giving people a discount code, and in return I get a small kickback by way of an affiliate link. And that is in common with the vast majority of other motorcycle YouTube channels. If you have a look at the Missenden Flyer, Moto Bob, Teapot One, Stuart Fillingham, you name it, all of those channels which are a lot bigger than mine contain product reviews. So I ain't doing anything that the great and good of YouTube aren't already doing. But some people wanted to give me an hard time about it, and I mean, I don't mean a bit of gentle ribbing. I mean, there's some quite humorous comments when I was reviewing those TFT screens to say that hey, my CF Moto there looked like looking through window of Curry's electrical shop. Curry's is an electrical retailer in the United Kingdom for my American, Australian, other viewers not based in the UK. Curry's. I'm old enough to be able to remember that it would have been Rumbelows or Valences, but there you go. And I don't mind that at all. Bit of Yorkshire humour, bit of banter, bit of ribbing, love it. But there were a handful of comments that were quite nasty. In fact, somebody, who as far as I could gather was not just some out of the blue troll that had come in from stage left. It was somebody I think had commented on the channel previously, And then came out, basically it said something like this: you're a decent guy, but quit this load of crap reviewing products. It's a right load of bollocks, and pack it in, stick to riding, something like that. Yeah, so product reviews, so some quite excoriating remarks, let me put it that way, which I think were a bit unfair. So I think the first thing to point out is a blindingly obvious, and that is to view any of my work on this channel. It's free. I don't have a Patreon page, I don't have a YouTube membership page. The closest I get is I have that super thanks button, which I'm always very, very grateful when people click on that and buy me a coffee or whatever, but that happens about once a month, if that. There is a certain amount of revenue from YouTube itself via Google AdSense for advertisements that YouTube choose to place on my videos, not me. But there is a small amount of revenue from that, and let me tell you, it is a very small amount of revenue. It nowhere comes close to scratching the surface of what I've personally invested in financial terms into the channel over these sort of 3 to 5 years, basically. So there is that, and it's believe me, it's modest would be an exaggeration there. So yeah, there's that, and that's as close as it gets. But of course, anybody that wants to view my content, any of it, at any time, totally free of charge. And I just get a little bit frustrated, bordering on irritated, bordering on speechless, when people come onto the channel that have been viewing the content that I put the effort into for free, and then give me an hard time just because I try and recover a little bit of the expense and the money that I've invested into it by doing a few product reviews. And at the end of the day, the product reviews stand to benefit the people that might want to buy the stuff that I review, because you're getting a good nearly a fifth off in most cases, nearly a fifth off, and that is not to be sneezed at. So when it comes to the product reviews, yes, I get a small amount of kickback if you buy a product that I review through the affiliate link in the channel, and it's about 5%. So you can imagine, and believe me, there aren't that many sold, maybe sort of 20, I think, at last check, and that were on the Psych Plus AS2 Pro. In fact, no, there is no affiliate link on that one, there's no kickback on that one, but for the TFT dash system there's a little bit, but it's a paltry amount, I have to tell you. It's nowhere near as much as the discount that a purchaser will get. So that's that. So I mean, the historical context is you've got to get to a certain level of performance and subscribership before you can monetize a YouTube channel. Used to be 1,000 subscribers, might be a bit less now, but I didn't monetize this channel until I got to 2,000 subscribers, because it's a bit of a palaver. I mean, registering to monetize your channel on YouTube involves basically setting up a load of systems with Google AdSense, and so you have to send in various forms of identification. You've got to register for tax, you've got to send your national insurance number, you've got to register your bank account, you've got to go through quite a bit of palaver just to register your bank account, etc, etc, etc. And in the early days you'd be lucky if you get into double figures of pounds a month. When I say double figures, I mean £10 a month plus in the early days. But the initial personal investment to get a YouTube channel up and running is substantial. It's a fair amount of money. Now, please, I don't want anybody saying stop whinging, Wheeler, stop belly aching, you enjoy what you're doing, it's a hobby not a business, da-di-da-di-da. I get all that, I know all that, I'm not belly aching, I'm explaining. Let me make it absolutely clear that doing this, coming out and about on my bikes into this beautiful countryside and making content, I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I love it. Who wouldn't, you know, if you're a biker, how would you not absolutely love doing this as often as you could? Even though filming sometimes can be a bit of a distraction, but not an issue for me. I love it, all of it. Editing, hey, that's a different sketch, because that can be really time consuming, and it's a necessary evil. It's a creative process, but sometimes it can be a bit of a bind, but I'm not complaining, not at all. I'm just explaining that it's very, very time consuming. And usually what I'm thinking about if I'm sat editing a video is, bloody hell, I'd much rather be out on the bike than sat here doing this, because it takes a long time. So like a 20-minute video will take me anything from half a day to 2 full days to edit, depending upon the complexity. And let me tell you, when you've spent an entire day editing and suddenly your aging computer shakes a 7, shits itself and destroys all your work, so you have to start all over again, that's not a good place to be. But anyway, that's as it is. So the point I'm trying to make basically is this: there are running costs associated with running a YouTube channel. I've always known that, I've always accepted it. I've never raised it with an issue, and the only reason that I raise it now is because some people seem to think that by accepting product reviews and sticking them on the channel as an extra video every now and again, I am somehow committing some sort of heresy and completely parting company with the overall work ethic of this channel. And I'm not, I promise you. All I'm trying to do is to try and recoup some of the financial costs, because I have bills to pay just like everybody else. I'm no different, and it can get expensive, particularly when things like computers start gasping the last, and you suddenly find yourself having to fork out a big piece of capital outlay, thousands, right from left field, right from out of the blue, if your computer suddenly turns its toes up. Because there's no such thing as a cheap 4K video editing computer. They need to be big on RAM, they need to be powerful on processors, they need to be powerful on graphics cards, yada yada yada. So not cheap, and without it you've got no channel. So you know, that's the bare reality for me. If computer ups and dies and I can't replace it or get it fixed, there is no The Bingley Wheeler channel. That's it, it's gone. So because this is my absolute passion in life, and bringing pleasure to a lot of people through the creative process is one of the most rewarding and fulfilling things I think that anybody can do in life, and that certainly applies to me. So hey, even if I had to go sell my body on the streets, which would get me about threepence, I'd do it if it were necessary to keep this channel going. So that's the bottom line. So yeah, it is only a handful of people, I have to say, but please bear in mind, product reviews, there'll always be extra videos, they won't be part of the core of my work. They'll almost always be on a Tuesday, and you don't have to watch them, but you know, if you see the thumbnail on the title and you think that's something I might want, and if you're going to get 18, 20, 22% off in some cases, everyone's a winner, aren't they? And if you don't, then don't watch it. And I just can't understand a couple of folk that would take time to watch a video like that, which is clearly a product promotion video, and then give me a load of slaver over it, saying I've committed some great betrayal of my viewers. And yeah, it was very, very disappointing. But it has presented me with an opportunity basically to explain how sort of running a YouTube channel works, even on a very, very modest channel like this. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's that. I'm just going to make my way to meet old Andy now. Hey, not that old. And we'll go for a ride, and I'll try and forget this. Of course, if my computer shits itself again, you won't even get to see this, will you? But anyway, I hope that this comes across in the positive and enlightening spirit in which it was meant. Okay, thank you. If you're riding, ride safe. And until the next time, in the meantime, ride safe, be kind, and of course, I'll see thee